Here's the man who's been quickest to the lot, Kevin LePage. He has the channel lock machine on the Bud pole with a brand new track record. Let's hear from the driver of that Chevy Monte Carlo, Glenn Jarrett.
Hey, thanks, Eli. You know, this is Kevin LePage's first ever career NASCAR Busch Series pole, but he's never won here at Dover. Kevin, some awfully impressive runs lately in both series, particularly in this NASCAR Busch Series in this number 40 channel lock car. Can you guys keep it up front all day?
Well, really hope so, Glenn. TNL did us a great job with the motor program, and the guys from the channel lock team, both at the shop here and at the racetrack, got a grip of this Dover mile. And, you know, I came here back in 1983 for my first race, and I've always liked the place, and hopefully today we can keep this 40 up front. But, you know, we're going to run 200 miles and let the cards deal out where it happens at the end and see what happens.
He's one of the guys we'll keep an eye on. Another guy sitting on the outside of the front row, Matt Kenseth. Matt has already won once on TNN this year. He has moved to second in the point standings. He's only 1 point behind the current points leader, Mike McLaughlin, who is standing by with Matt Yoakum.
Glenn, Mike McLaughlin gained fame in racing the Northeast, but he scored his first Busch Series victory here on the Monster Mile. He hopes the win today will prove to be a catalyst towards his championship dreams. A 1-point advantage over Matt Kenseth. Mike, do you throw caution to the wind, chasing points, or the win?
We're definitely here to win. That's what we work hard for. That's what we expect. You know, the points, they'll follow.
Well, he finished 10th here last fall. Another hot shoe in his mirror today, Tony Stewart, the most diverse driver during the month of May. He raced at Indy, a Silver Crown car, a Busch car at New Hampshire, a dirt late model, you name it, he raced it. This season, he's finished twice on TNN second. Today, the Rushville Rocket goes for win number 1.
Matt, thank you very much. Joining me is a gentleman who in his driving career had many top 5 finishes here at the Monster Mile. Buddy Baker, when you ran this track, of course, it was asphalt, but on a hot day like this with concrete as the racing surface, how tough to get a hold of?
Well, asphalt is black and it retains a lot of heat. This is concrete. The crew chiefs really like it because it stays very consistent. So they're looking for a very fast race, less than a second after 20 laps of drop-off, where with a blacktop racetrack, you would drop off maybe 3 seconds.
Now, over the years, we've seen so many different drivers post victories here. In the 28 races that the NASCAR Busch Series has won here, we've had 21 different winners, and 12 drivers posted their first ever career victories here at the mile. And Darrell Waltrip, who joins us on the telecast as well today, knows this racetrack as well as anybody. How do you drive it now? Aggressively, cautiously? What's the approach for these fellas?
Well, I think those statistics tell us that what you don't know won't hurt you. That's the thing about Dover. It's a fast racetrack. It's ultra fast this time. The new tires have obviously picked the speeds up considerably. The young and aggressive. Now, you can be young and aggressive if you're not foolish. And that's kind of the line that's the line you walk here at Dover. So I expect we'll see a 13th different new winner here this time because there's some good drivers in the field that haven't won lately.
Well, they have already fired the engines down on the pit lane, so we are set to go racing. Glad you're with us here on TNN Motorsports. The MBNA Platinum 200 for the NASCAR Busch Series is next.
I am a guide through the Himalayas. They call me a Sherpa.
Lycos is your personal guide to the internet.
I'm the Sherpa of Sherpas.
Lycos searches millions of websites.
You'll need helpful guide.
And Lycos finds just what you want, quickly and easily.
They find me somehow. Kula Sherpa here for Sherpa self-distinction.
Get Lycos, or get lost.
Rolling on the second of their 3 warm-up laps, the MBNA Platinum 200 about set to go. Why don't we check out the starting grid, which includes for you 6 former Dover winners in the field. Kevin LePage, his first career pole, and Matt Kenseth, his best career start. Bobby Hillen's not started that well since here in 1994, and the ageless Dick Trickle, who won both poles here a year ago. Your brother, Darrell Michael, had himself a good qualifying run.
Boy, he really did. And, you know, he's got both his cars running good. Patty's up in there as well, so he's tickled to death with his Band-Aid Ford.
Of course, Patty being Patty Moise, who had a good qualifying effort here this weekend. Moving on to row number 5, you've got Glenn Allen and Jeff Green. Phil Parsons always runs well here, and Mike Dillon, who had a 4th place finish here last fall. There is the aforementioned, actually, the Sawyer family. Elton and Patty, husband and wife, the exact same qualifying speed.
Can you believe it, buddy?
I mean, Hey, they're bragging rights at the table last night. Both of them could say, hey, you didn't beat me at all.
Yeah, normally you say my car's red hot and yours ain't doodly squat. They couldn't see that today.
Field coming towards the stripe. They'll get the 1-to-go signal. There you see Dale Jarrett from the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, starting in row number 14, along with Mike Cope, Elliott Sadler, the Bristol winner, and Randy LaJoie, buddy, still trying to find that winning combination here in 98.
Yeah, and I talked to Steve Bird, and I said, how's things going? He said, let me tell you, they're not going well. We're not winning. You can never feel good about things. I'm not happy right now.
Yeah, I think if he listened to Earnhardt last week after that race, he might know what the winning combination is.
Might well.
Earnhart went over and, took the wind out and explained a few things.
Sure did.
Oh, come on. He just looked in there and said, are you all right?
Oh,
man?
yeah. I know now. I have first-hand information, and that ain't what he said.
There is the AutoZone race analysis brought to you by the more than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. One thing that we don't see there, Darrell Waltrip, is the fact that the racetrack narrows up 10 feet coming off the turns. How significant is that?
Well, I think you'll see, Eli, in the race coming off 2 and 4, the cars get real close together right there, and that's where we have a lot of accidents that are triggered by just ever so slightly contacting each other as they come up off these corners and narrow down onto the straightaways.
Shane Hall carrying our cameras for you here today at the Monster Mile. Likewise, in a backup car, Matt Hutter, he wrecked the primary car yesterday. Bill Parsons, an expected daddy. His wife Marcia due with twins any day now.
Yeah,
he'll be bringing us the view from his Duralube entry. The veteran Dick Trickle of Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, gives us a ride in the Schneider entry. And on the Bud pole, Kevin LePage with the Channel Lock onboard camera. And those are the fellows who'll be giving us the rides around this Dover Downs International Speedway. 200 laps, 200 miles, $485,000 plus on the line and bragging rights. Green flag about to fly.
Get ready.
LePage in the 40, Kenseth the 17, Bobby Hillen in the 8.
You know, it's pretty good to see those cars run side by side, although the 17 just got real bad loose off of turn 4 there.
Matt Kenseth, the number 17 car there, got out of the groove just a little bit. The groove is the darker part of the racetrack. Up there on the top part, there's a lot of debris up there, rubber dust and what have you. When you get up there, the car gets really loose.
Well, with this tire they got this time, though, there seems to be, I believe we'll be able to run side by side. Maybe not that early in the race, but I think it will be later on. I think this tire is going to make it real competitive for everybody.
For the moment, it is single file. You saw Mike Dillon look to the inside, and others trying to sneak some peeks. Joe Bessie right there, the number 6, inside of Ed Berrier. They're running back in 20th and 21st, and Berrier in the 77 loses that exchange.
Yeah, a lot of times you get caught up on that outside, and you're just not sure. Even though the car might feel all right, you're not sure because you've had so many nightmares, heard so many stories about getting stuck on the outside. Berrier's certainly not happy, is he, buddy?
No, he's wanting back down low. You can see these guys going at it. Elliott Sadler there in the 66 car, going down in the corner, following Mike Cope.
Yeah, you get shoved up there. You got to let that guy on the inside has the preferred line. He's got the traction and everything it takes to go fast.
Single file for the basic entire mile here. Everybody going single file. Let's check in quickly with Matt Yoakum in the pits.
Eli pulled the garage this morning. Matt Kenseth, one of a number of drivers who set their cars up on a little bit of the loose side because in happy hour, the track seemed to get tighter and tighter, and that's what many crew chiefs expect the track to go to today. So they figured, let's start it up a little bit loose and let the track come to us.
Bobby Hillen takes the lead there, Eli. I think that may be the first lap he's led this entire year with that car. Great performance here, good qualifying, and as you can see, Bobby Hillen is on a mission right now.
Yeah, I watched him in practice, buddy, and he was the fastest car a lot of the practice sessions they had before qualifying, and certainly he's got a hot rod under him today.
Saw Michael Waltrip there taking away the inside against Mike McLaughlin in the 34.
That's what he did, too. He took it away because Mike had a run on him, but Brother Mike cut him off.
Last time Bobby Hillen led a NASCAR Busch Series race, March of '95 in Darlington. So you're right, it has been a while, buddy.
Yeah, he's been working hard to get that program put together and working with some different resources there to get the money to run all the races.
6 laps complete of 200 here at the Monster Mile. Again, McLaughlin in the 34. Got a good run on Michael and brings Tony Stewart with him, but he can't get through.
Yeah, Michael was actually holding Michael McLaughlin up there. And I want to say about LePage, you know, last week he run like crazy early in the race, buddy, if you remember, and then he really faded, and it looks like he's fading back a little bit now.
Ooh, Jeff Green almost gets into Michael Waltrip there. The 21 car come down on the racetrack to take care of that inside groove, and there was almost contact. Jeff Green there in the 2.
Right, he's in that New Holland car. Normal driver Ron Barfield committed to run all of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series events, and they're running right now at Watkins Glen International in the Parts America 150. So there you see McLaughlin in the 34. LePage now behind him in the 40.
Yeah. Eli, you can listen. Backing off right there. Picks the throttle back up right there. Starts back into it. As they come off here, the tendency for the race car to jump sideways. As it comes up, it comes out of the hole and onto the back straightaway. And the back of the car tries to go out towards the wall. Even a good car.
Yeah, they get loose up off the corner here because they literally run up out of the banking up onto the straightaway. They actually come uphill right there, and that causes the car to get real light in the back. That'll cause the back end to jump around.
Matt Kenseth knocking on the door for the lead. Hillen in the 8 has the lead. There's Kenseth in the 17, the Lycos car. The newest protege in the Jack Roush empire.
Kenseth looks like he's a little quicker than Hillen. He ran him down from about a 10-car length deficit now and right on his back bumper. Now, if he gets too close up under the back of Hillen, it will make that car extremely loose up out of the corner.
It will, and if you remember now, Kenseth won the race at Rockingham, a mile racetrack, very similar to this, not concrete, but very similar. So obviously they have a great setup for a 1-mile racetrack. He's short over.
39, Eddie Baer being lapped by the leaders. So too the 78 of Loy Allen. You saw them go by. Been a good battle here. Kevin LePage led the first 4 laps. Hillen has led from lap 5 through 12 as we are in the early stages on TNN Motorsports. Kenseth was trying, and on lap number 16, car number 17 grabbed the lead from Bobby Hillen. So now the 3rd different leader of the MBNA Platinum 200, that man right there, Matt Kenseth. And guys, we'll take a look at it right here. It really was something we saw coming before we broke away.
Okay, well, this is after Hillen goes in the corner. He's got one eye on Kenseth, who's running much quicker through the corner. And as they start in the corner, Bobby Hillen drove in a little bit too deep. Front of the car pushed up, and Kenseth just drove right under him.
Yeah, I think that Kenseth worried him to death. He kept looking at him in the mirror, and he finally drove in a little hard and got under him and went on. But Hillen still got it. You know, his car's fast, and Kenseth run about a mile an hour faster than Hillen.
And how about the 3 car right there? You see him get by Kevin LePage, Dale Earnhardt Jr. now up to 6th spot. And I think all the more remarkable, we talked about first-time winners here. It's his first ever visit to the Monster Mile.
Yeah, I tell you what, this kid's good anywhere. Seems now that he's being a little more patient with his qualifying. He's more interested in getting the car good for the race. As you can see, running right around the base of the racetrack. Started in 16th spot and is already up into the 6th spot.
Yeah, well, when you haven't been somewhere before, you know, you use that practice and even that qualifying and all the time leading up to the race to familiarize yourself with the track so you can race well. And, I mean, he has a great crew. That's an experienced bunch. Tony Eury Jr., they do a great job with that car.
That's the one, as you see right there, Michael Waltrip moving up just a little bit. He sees the 3 car of Dale Jr. a little bit quicker. He's not going to fight him this early in the race.
And Glenn Jarrett, I think it was interesting yesterday when Dale Earnhardt Jr. told us, he said, I don't know if I need to work on my patience or if I'm just not in the right frame of mind sometimes, that something is I'm lacking. And he knows himself that there are things he's got to work on.
Oh, he absolutely does, Eli. And I tell you what, he was the quickest car in the practice yesterday afternoon during happy hour by a goodly margin over the rest of the field. I talked to Tony Eury this morning, as Darrell mentioned, his crew chief, and Tony told me, Glenn, I just can't wait until the race starts. I love watching this kid drive a race car so much. They think he's going to be as good as, or maybe even better than Dale Earnhardt Sr.
And, you know, he said to me yesterday, Darrell, he said, Eli, that you've never driven a race car. He said, you may not appreciate quite how much of a race, particularly here, is mental.
Yeah, it is. And, yeah, he says he's lacking something. Well, it's one word. It's my favorite word. He's lacking that experience. He got to get a little more spirit, and then he'll be all right, because that's all you lack right now. He just sometimes knows he's in a situation you don't know what to do as he goes flying by Tony Stewart.
Great third spot right there.
Oh, man, he's just moving up through there. He's just taking them as he gets to them. The car right on the bottom of the racetrack. We just touched on something about Dale Jr. He had 10 years of his father with this race team. Steve Park has been here with this race car, so they have a lot of experience to offer this kid. It makes the learning curve so much quicker.
Oh, yeah, you get in, if he has the talent, and he does, he gets in a car that's set up properly for these racetracks. All he has to focus on is just driving and learning how to win.
The Napa Field update across the top of the screen, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, to keep America running, and they'll keep that scoring rundown running for you throughout the afternoon.
Just even a little further on that experience thing and Dale Jr. Dale Sr. had Jake Elder as his crew chief early on, and all of us, Buddy, will remember Jake was great with new young drivers. He gave him a car that was comfortable and handled well. Dale could concentrate on driving and winning. And that's what Dale Jr. has here, is a team that's giving him a car that's comfortable to drive. Now he can just go out and do his thing.
There's Jeff Green and Dick Trickle right there on the screen. Behind them, Glenn Allen in the 99 and Phil Parsons in the 10. They are running 11th and 12th, respectively.
Phil Parsons usually runs really good here at Dover. He's had some real good finishes here. And has he won here, Eli? Is he one of the guys that's won here?
No, interestingly, Phil is not one of those who has won here. He's come close. He was third here a couple of years ago in that Luxair car, you might remember, but he's not picked up a victory here. Buckshot Jones, meanwhile, being bypassed by a host of teams. He's 25th. Here comes Mark Crow trying to put him further back down, and Buckshot Jones seems to be laboring just a bit.
And Eli, I don't know if this is a fact or not, but I think it is. He's driving a Winston Cup car this weekend. He's driving the 8 car, the Circuit City car that Hut Strickland got booted out of. And I don't know if it's a fact or not. For me, it would be. If doing double duty like that is hurting his Busch program, because I tell you, the cars are so different. I know guys do it and get away with it, but a young guy like him may not have enough knowledge and experience to pull that off.
Look at this battle for 5th place right now. Tony Stewart there, Michael Waltrip has been really going at it. You see Michael's using a higher line there, and the second groove seems to be coming in, Darrell. He's able to keep up with Tony Stewart on the outside groove there.
Yeah, I really believe it will. I think these tires are good enough. They give the cars enough security that you can venture in that outside lane and be all right.
Riding with LePage, he's got Robert Presley just ahead of him there in 7th. There again, you're watching Stewart in 5th, Michael Waltrip in 6th from high overhead the Monster Mile. If you're a Loy Allen fan, he's just taken his car to the garage area. Matt Kenseth is the race leader by 0.3 of a second over Bobby Hillin while we watch this good battle. Further back, you've got Andy Santerre, Mike Cope. They've already been lapped.
I was watching Michael. You know, early in the race, he almost got run over by a couple of guys because he couldn't get going, but it looks like his car's really come around, neutraled up a little bit, and he's starting to make a little run toward the front now because he's putting a lot of pressure on Stewart, particularly using that high line, buddy.
Yeah, well, he's doing what he has to do with the race car because it won't stay on the bottom part of the racetrack, and he's starting to diamond the corner out. He goes in kind of low and lets it go up in the center and right back to the bottom.
Well, I can tell you, there ain't nothing wrong with running up next to that fence. I think it's a good, dadgum place to be myself.
They're short and fat legs.
There's Buckshot Jones. He's now backslid to 32nd position. Blaze Alexander will pass him to 33rd. Matt Yoakum, you hearing anything from down there?
Eli, I just talked to Ricky Pearson, the crew chief for Buckshot Jones. He told me they believe they may have a tire going down on the double O. Right now, they're riding it out, hoping for a caution, hoping it might be something else. And at this moment, he's continuing to backslide. Maybe a tire going down.
But you see the 17 car right there, the race leader, Kenseth, about to put him a lap down. You got Dave Blaney in the 93. How long do you wait before you say, hey, let's come in?
Whoa. I think when the leader goes by, you come in. Right now, he's just trying to hang on and try to hope for a caution. But, buddy, look at that.
Boy, I tell you what, you talk about driving a race car. Matt Kenseth made a move to the bottom right there. It had to work. Blaney had cut him off on the back straightaway. The two cars went in the corner very hard, kind of slipped up. And Matt Kenseth's car is working so well, he just hooked the bottom of the racetrack out and blew by him.
Yeah, that looked like a Jeff Gordon move over at Charlotte last week to take the win.
You can see Buckshot waving. Yeah, he's waving. Yeah. He must be coming in or trying to get out of the way or something.
That is the no Moss wave. I'm coming in, no more. And everybody lets him get easy entree to the pit lane. So he'll be coming in for the unscheduled stop here at lap number 37.
Boy, I tell you what, they're lapping these, getting a lot of lapping going on here this early in the race. We're going to run 37 laps. We're already lapping the back of the field. So the front pack is really moving around this racetrack.
Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Buckshot Jones already in his pit box, working on the right side. One can of gas in, topping it off. Now they're coming around to the left side. This is going to be a four-tire stop. They weren't through what side the tire was. They figured they're already on pit road. Go ahead and take the time and change all four tires. But a costly stop for Buckshot Jones.
Buckshot said this is one of his favorite tracks. That's the same car with which he won at Milwaukee a year ago. His first career NASCAR Busch Series win, but at least for the moment, it doesn't seem as though he's destined for victory lane today. He will lose 2 and potentially a third lap as Kenseth will come by and make him 3 laps down here at lap number 39. Still in the early stages of the MBNA Platinum 200. We're back with more from Dover on TNN Motorsports in a moment. Monster Mile, the aerial shots today from the Lycos helicopter. Lycos, your personal internet guide at lycos.com. Lower portion of the screen, that's the horse racing grandstand here at the Monster Mile. You can see the horse track in the middle. That's that gray, shorter oval. There on the right of the screen is the NASCAR Busch Series garage. And there is the Busch Series race leader, number 17, Matt Kenseth, who'll put a lap on the 33rd place runner, Blaze Alexander, going a lap down. And the 48 car now is Brad Loney. He's about to be put a lap down.
You know, just what we call this place kind of puts a little fear in me. The Monster Mile, White Lightning. I mean, those are things that'll hurt you, buddy.
You're right about that. That's why I'm up here.
Watch this a few moments ago. Buckshot Jones had just come off the pit lane. Patty Moise right there.
Oh, boy, she gets that right front, right into his left rear quarter there and makes it sting, I'll tell you.
Well, good thing he had new tires on.
Yeah. You know, this must be different, though, and I say this, Darrell, really with all utmost respect. You were so very, very tough here when this track was asphalt, and it doesn't look as though you really grabbed it when it's gone to concrete. Here are some young guys who have never been here before, and I guess they have no comparison. But it's been a tough transition for some of the veterans, hasn't it?
Well, it really has. It's such a different feel, and I know we talk about this before. I've talked about this here before, but the thing has got that pitter pat that you get on concrete, and it's just not as smooth as it was, and it upsets the cars. You have to have the right shock combination to be right on this racetrack. Springs are all the same, pretty much, but shocks are the key.
Battle for third. Earnhardt looks to the inside. That's for second. Excuse me. That's the battle for. No, that's for third.
That is the third right there. You've got Earnhardt in the 3, McLaughlin the 34. Second place is Bobby Hillen right ahead of the number 8 car.
But you know, you got to talk a little bit about Bobby Hillen now. He dropped the green and he took the lead. He's running second. He's having a good run here.
Now, as I was saying, this is the battle for second when they get back to it. Earnhardt has caught Bobby Hillen now. This is the battle for second. Earnhardt is really moving at this moment.
NASCAR timing and scoring across the top of the screen, brought to you by MCI. 10, 3, 2, 1. Just dial it and save up to 50%. Now let's see how traffic deals in here.
Yeah, well, they've been working traffic pretty well, and Dale Jr. just a tick faster than even the leader right now, and he's in traffic.
You got Jeff Fuller there in that white and red car, the new driver for the 89.
you see them moving out of the way there. They realize that the leaders are coming up on them. Earnhardt being very, very patient. I bet you Tony Eury on the radio, the crew chief, is telling him, patience. We have a car that can win.
Yeah, well, last week, you know, they felt he had a car that can win and got in a little deal there that he probably really shouldn't have gotten into. So I'm sure they're leaning on him pretty hard today.
Last time by, Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the clock was 1.5 miles an hour quicker than everybody else on the racetrack. There he slowed up just a bit, got around Fuller in the 89 and closes in on Hillen. But consistently now, Earnhardt Jr. has been quickest on the computer. Around LePage, problems for our pole sitter. Kevin LePage had dropped back to 29th, and he's now coming in for service.
Yeah, this is the same thing he did. You know, he did this last week. Run up front, had a great car, qualified well, but the thing goes away on him in the race. I don't know what the problem is there.
From Shelburne, Vermont, Kevin LePage. He's also set to go racing here tomorrow in the MBNA Platinum 400. Glenn Jarrett is waiting for the Channel Lock Chevy.
Yeah, Eli, actually, I'm a little further up pit road, but I did check with the crew a while ago when he started falling back, and he was the car was very, very tight. He simply could not turn it in the corner. Interestingly enough, there are some crew guys from the number 28 Winston Cup car. This is a 4-tire change. Jeff Clark, Gary McClure, and a new guy that they're trying out to change front tires. They're practicing on Kevin's car. The new guy is Darren Wood, and so I knew I had his name somewhere. So they're changing 4 tires. Everybody was concerned about just how far they could go on this first run. A lot of them said they were going to have to look at pitting around lap 60 because they just did not know what tire wear was going to be on this brand new tire.
LePage's team also concerned about a broken shock or a shock mount problem, which I guess could really jar you on a racetrack like this, or any racetrack for that matter.
Well, as I alluded to earlier, shocks is the key here. To get across these little bumps in the racetrack, you got to have the right shock combination. I don't know. Sometimes I think no shocks might be better than the wrong shock, so he might not be that bad off.
There's the leader, Matt Kenseth. Ahead of him is the number 63 of Tracy Leslie, who was running in 28th. In a caution-free race, the leader just marching through the field. We're back on TNN Motorsports in a moment. Matt Kenseth continuing to lead. Hey, folks, you can experience Country.com, your personal source for all things country. From race cars to country stars, connect to Country.com. And you got a column in there by one Buddy Baker. So do check it out when you are online next. Matt Kenseth continues to lead, just marching up through the field. He has already lapped to 24th position. Good battle there. The 64, Dick Trickle. The 10, Phil Parsons. That's 8th and 9th place right now. But they're already 7 seconds behind the race leader.
Kenseth's got that Mark Martin set up in that thing. You notice that, buddy, how he comes off turn 4 like Mark always does, right down on the white line, and, I mean, eating everybody alive right there.
Well, you know, Jack Roush, who owns the race car that Mark Martin runs on Sundays, has a lot of input on Matt Kenseth's car. He's kind of pulled him under his wing and gives him a lot of technical advice and a lot of help in racing, period.
Yeah, you know, Hillen and Dale Jr. had chased him down, but as soon as he got a clear shot there, he's pulled back out there a pretty nice lead again. So he's being real cautious. He knows he's got a good car, and he's just taking his time.
It's now a 1.5 seconds of an advantage as the 2nd and 3rd place guys right there, Hillen and Earnhardt, pick their way through traffic. They've got Andy Santerre in the 47 right there. Andy's had a tough middle of the season. Got out of the box pretty well, but the learning curve maybe catching up just a bit in his move from the Busch North Series.
Yeah, he had a pretty good car in Charlotte, got into the wall with it there, had to take a backup car, and just been off the pace here, just like he is right now. He's just not up to speed. Andy Santerre has great driving qualities, but right now he's going through what every race car driver goes through. It's called a slump.
Yeah, well, particularly when it's a young guy, young team starting off. As long as they got momentum on their side, they can run on that, momentum and adrenaline. But as soon as the wind gets knocked out of your sails, there a couple of cars, you get behind, it's hard to catch back up.
Mike Cope being lapped. And now let's watch again from Kenseth, the leader. Let's go back and show you what 1 1/10 seconds looks like on this racetrack. There you see Hillen and Earnhardt just 1 1/10 behind in their private battle for second.
Eli, one thing that happens, Kenseth's out there, and the flagman that is actually giving everybody a move over flag. These guys, when they come up behind them, they have to pick their way around these lap cars. So leading the race here sometimes is a great advantage because the flagman's letting them know, okay, the leader's coming, get out of the way.
But it didn't take long. If you get out of that throttle for a lap car, it doesn't take long for them other guys back there to catch up. Look where they are now.
Hermie Sadler, he's been put a lap down already by the race leaders, and that's a guy with 5 top 10 finishes and 7 starts here. I mean, we're seeing good race teams going a lap down now.
Great race team.
Yeah.
If you want to know how they're running, folks, I'm looking at the computer right here. Our leader's running 140.384, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is running 143 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's for second. Different lines, certainly.
Yeah, Hillen's car is a little tight, looks like, and it shows up in the middle of the corner tight, meaning he's got the wheels turned to the left and is still trying to go up toward the wall. That's not a bad line to have around here.
Right here it is. He's making the move as they come off turn 2 there. Or all 4, rather, you can see side by side. Earnhardt just didn't have the momentum coming up out of the lower side of the racetrack.
When you get under somebody like that, you got the wheels turned so hard left coming off the corner to stay down that you actually have to get out of the throttle. The car will just pick up and almost shove into the guy on the outside. You got to lift or run into him.
But look, folks, they've closed right in on Kenseth now. First, second, and third right there together. And Glenn Jarrett, that's one thing in the Hillen pits. I see you standing down there. These guys saying, yeah, we're holding off Earnhardt, but we've caught the leaders also.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you what, Bobby's car, you're right, Darrell. Hillen's car is just a little bit tight, but it seems to be working really well right now. Maybe we're seeing the creation of a second groove up there because he's still real quick. Again, we're asking these guys when they're talking about pitting, we're already up to lap 70 or working on lap 70 right now, and they're saying that they think that they can go to lap 100. They know they can go that far on fuel. They don't know if the tires will take it. They're hoping they can. They all want to see it cause them now. Hillen has taken the lead. Boy, I tell you, for a tight race car, he's moving on.
So Bobby Hillen, who led lap 5 through lap 16, is back in the lead here at lap number 70.
Eli, what a great move he made. He made it on the outside. Kenseth looked up in the mirror, saw him come in, moved over a little bit. He shot to the inside and took first place away.
Well, he's showing a lot of maturity because those guys caught him. He knows he's got a good race car. He's proven that to us up here in the booth a couple times, pulling away from those cats. Let's see what they're doing. Plus, he might be trying to stretch it out a little bit on his tires and go a little further before he pits, too.
I think Kenseth may be in trouble as far as abusing the tires in the early part of the race here because these guys, you can see right now, they're pulling away from Kenseth some 15 car lengths in 2 laps.
Yeah, they're 2 miles an hour faster than he is right now. I've been watching his straightaway speed. He's still fast in the corner, but he really seems to be hurting on the straightaway. And look who just took the lead, buddy.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Absolutely. He's on the inside. You can see Hillen has a great car, though. He looked to the outside of Earnhardt. Great straightaway speed on the 8 car of Bobby Hillen.
So the man who's here for the very first time in his career, and he's wearing a T-shirt that says, been there, wrecked that. Don't count on it happening today. This guy is quick. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the new leader here at Dover Downs International Speedway in the MBNA Platinum 200. And they are about to put last year's winner in the fall, Joe Bessie. They're about to put the 6-car lap down in 22nd spot.
Yeah, well, this will be a real challenge for Dale Jr. because Joe's not going to give up too easily. Well, I don't think
I hope he sees him. Yes, he does. Earnhardt goes to the bottom. Hillen follows right in the tire track. These 2 guys are going at it right now.
You have to give both those guys a real call, buddy, because Dale Jr. never been here, and Bobby Hillen with his car running this well in this race. I mean, he hadn't done this good all year long.
First and second you're looking at right there, and you can look back just a little bit. Kenseth is pretty far back. That's him going right by. He's about 15, 20 car lengths back.
But as we go to break, guys, just remember, Dale Earnhardt Jr. wrecked at the last 2 races in Nazareth and Charlotte, but he had the strongest car at both of those tracks. We shouldn't be surprised here today. Car Busch Series Racing from the Monster Mile, Dover Downs International Speedway in Delaware. And as Dale Earnhardt Jr. puts a lap on Tim Fedewa, don't forget tomorrow, the MBNA Platinum 400 green flag is at noon. We'll be on the air actually a half hour earlier than that at 11:30 with our pre-race coverage. So tune in tomorrow, 11:30 for pre-race, 12 noon, the green flag for the next stop on the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Rusty Wallace is on the Bud pole for tomorrow. 11th place, a good battle on the racetrack right now. You've got Green in the 2, Dillon the 72. 37 is the other Green. You've got Jeff and Mark right there battling side by side, and Dale Jarrett in the 32.
Dale Jarrett right along there. These guys are a good ways back from the leaders right now. They're trying to get this thing sorted out and put some distance on the lead car, because Dale Earnhardt Jr. is absolutely flying around this racetrack. Matt Kenseth is almost a full straightaway back now.
Yeah, here they are at the line now. And here comes Dale Jr., and he's at the line now. So that's not a lot of breathing room. They're on the same straightaway. So I think we're in our pit window, though.
We are.
I don't think we're going to go much further on the tires, and certainly they can't go much further on fuel. So we're coming within our pit window now.
We are at lap number 84 of 200.
And the big thing is, here we are, 84 laps in this race, no cautions, no apparent tire problems, and being able to run 100 miles with these tires is absolutely impressive to me, buddy.
Boy, this is wonderful. I love this shot from the helicopter. You can see Dale Jarrett and them coming out of the corner out wide there, trying to stay in the lead lap. Just behind them, Dale Jr. is really coming on to them.
Well, this is where you need communication. This is where you'll call your spotter and say, go tell the other spotter, let's get in line and let's don't race each other right now so we don't go a lap down.
Last year in September, the NASCAR Winston Cup teams ran here with one quick caution. And the NASCAR Busch Series over the years here at Dover, 4 times have had races with only 2 caution flags, but it's not very often we see that. Jeff Purvis is making his pit stop as you see fellas who are in position for their first career victories.
Everybody's driving. I mean, I haven't seen any really what I'd call close calls. There's been some guys that have maybe rubbed each other a little bit, but not anything like we normally see here, buddy. I think that's because the tires are good, and in the track you're able to run in 2 different grooves.
Yeah, you just mentioned a very key thing. Goodyear made a tire for this racetrack.
Yes,
it's the first time they've had one like that, and that's a key.
Yeah, they call it their concrete tire. Right. And I think that's, oh man, is that Hillman trying to get into pit?
There you see Randy LaJoy, who is in on pit road.
No,
Glenn Allen Jr., I believe, had a problem there trying to find the entrance.
I just saw a black car as I looked up, and smoke was boiling off the front tires, and he missed the pit. He missed the pit entrance. That's what I'm trying to say.
Randy LaJoy, Matt, was running 20th when he came into pit.
Yes, he was. He was 35 miles per hour the pit road speed today. Randy, like a lot of drivers, complaining about the car being just way too tight. So they were going to fix him up with an air pressure adjustment. It's not been a good weekend for Randy LaJoy. They called 2 years ago. He swept over. Last year he had 2 top 5s. He was hoping to get the car back in the championship fight today with a good run. It's not going his way.
There's the number 77 team servicing Ed Barrier. Jimmy Means, you see him right there at the pit wall in that red shirt, hand on his ear, keying the radio. That's the crew chief, Jimmy Means. And there, finally, Glenn Allen has come in and has made his lap. And I think Blaze Alexander also just missed the entrance to pit road, though Tim Fedewa is in. These stops on lap number 90. There is Fedewa coming to the attention of Vic Angus and the crew. Let's go back to Matt Yoakum.
Tim Fedewa, like most teams at this junction, going to be making a 4-tire pit stop. He was also complaining his car had leaned to the tight side. They're making a wedge adjustment. You see the crew on the left side of the car, putting both cans of Unocal gasoline in. Kind of a long pit stop, trouble on the right rear of the Kleenex car. And he's now down the way. A lengthy pit stop for Tim Fedewa.
There was a lengthier stop right there with that problem. Tough break for Tim, the winner at Nazareth just a few weeks ago. Other stops now. Jeff Green will come in at lap number 91. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt Jr. with a 1 7/10 second lead on Bobby Hillin.
Boy, Hillen's just got to be thrilled to death with the way he has run this first 100 miles of this race, because he's been in contention. He's led, and he can get in and out of the pits, as Buddy and I were talking about, he's got a car capable of winning this race today.
And meanwhile, only 13 cars remain on the lead lap. Everybody else has been lapped by the series of leaders, which today included Kevin LePage, Bobby Hillin, Matt Kenseth, and now Dale Earnhardt Jr. More on TNN Motorsports after this. Earnhardt Jr., the race leader, spins trying to come on to pit road. He doesn't make contact with anything, but it is going to cut into what has been a flawless performance so far. Darrell Waltrip, we have seen the AC Delco crew having to wave their driver by, and so many fellows are having trouble getting on the pit road today. What's going on?
I'm not sure. That's the 7th or 8th car that has missed the entrance to pit lane down here. And they're just going too fast to get turned in. Watch this. Well, he's down on the flat for one thing.
Look at the big tire on the end of the wall here. He barely goes by there. Did not hit it.
Now, buddy, that isn't being good. That's being lucky right there.
Well, he is in now, Earnhardt Jr. is. So is Bobby Hillin. So is Tony Stewart and Dave Blaney. Let's go to pit road.
Comes in for a 4-tire stop. And like I said, they were going to go to halfway. It's lap 101, so this will be a 4-tire change, and this should be their only stop. They're not making any adjustments on the car. Bobby said the car felt good to leave it alone. He thought it would be good for the rest of the race, so they're on the left side now. Right before Bobby came in, Dick Trickle was in the next pit. He overshot his pit space, so evidently there's a problem with the brakes, guys. Hillin is down and away in 23.5. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart is in right behind me, around to the left side on him, and Stewart is down and away, slide sideways, getting out of the pit.
Matt Yoakum was in the Dale Earnhardt Jr. pit.
An 18-second pit stop. Eli for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Tony Sr. told him just to shrug it off and just get himself back, hunker down, and get back up to the front. A 4-tire stop, no adjustments. He was happy with the way his car was handling. His car actually handles better over the longer run. They don't lose as much as everyone else on used tires. Matt Kenseth also in for a 4-tire stop. They adjusted his car with air pressure. His car didn't move to the tight side.
Now, Phil Parsons assumes the lead as Mike McLaughlin right there makes his pit stop. Did you see a little tire rub on Earnhardt Jr.'s car?
You know what I think? I think when he spun around down there and went back up on the bank, the valance may have hit a little bit and bent the fender in just a little bit. It's rubbing on the outside part of the left front tire.
Yeah, it's possible, but they drop the air down a lot in the race. They'll let the pressure down a couple, 3 more pounds. That tire will flex a little bit till the pressure builds up. But the 17 car, Kenseth almost missed pit lane. He turned in down there, smoking the tires. You know what I think, buddy? I believe they got sealer on that asphalt. I believe they sealed that asphalt, and it's slick. And when you get down on it, you lock the wheels up, and you can't drive.
Well, it's certainly something we've been seeing here as a regular basis. We're watching Earnhardt Jr. there. No telltale smoke from the left front that time.
It's just air pressure. They drop that down a couple of pounds. It'll rub a little bit for a lap or two, and then it'll go away.
Pit stops continuing for some here at lap number 106. Patty Moise is in. Phil Parsons is in right there in the Duralube car. Phil took the lead at lap 105. And if you're keeping tabs at home with us, you've had Earnhardt Jr., Hillin, McLaughlin, and Phil Parsons lead here over these series of pit stops. Let's go down to that pit area.
And Phil Parsons, as you say, took the lead 1 lap ago. And after a lap that he came in the pit, wow, he went 106 laps on those tires. As soon as they're done with them, I want to take a good close look at them. Darrell Waltrip, you're exactly right. There is new pavement down on pit road, or at least a new sealer on pit road. That's why these guys are sliding so much. Phil Parsons down and away in 22.2 seconds. I'm going to go take a look at these tires, guys.
Yeah, well, you come off the racetrack and the tires are worn. They got to be worn out. And you hit that sealer, and I just got to looking at it. It's real black, so I think they've sealed that up and made it real treacherous to get in the pit.
Darrell, what sealer is, it's almost like a tar base. It's very, very slick, and the tires are hot to begin with, and they get on that sealer and just skate.
Yeah, it's the same thing you put on your driveway. I mean, that's what they're trying to do, is preserve that down there. They just sealed it up with some driveway sealer. Added a new dimension to the Monster Mile.
And there you see on the left of your screen the number 56 car, Jeff Krogh. He is the race leader. First time in his career he has led a NASCAR Busch Series race. Well, there's been no caution, but Lordy, there's been action. We're live on TNN Motorsports. We're back in July of 1986. Won at Talladega as a 22-year-old. And there's third place, 34 McLaughlin, 17 Kenseth. That's a good battle there.
Yeah, you put it in perspective. Dale Jr. spun the car out, so he lost tons of time. He had to go back around. He still made his pit stop, and now he's chasing Hillen down for the lead. So I think that puts it in perspective how fast he is.
See the front of Jeff Fuller's car there. The right front corner is completely torn out, and it's flapping in the breeze. I'm not sure NASCAR is going to like that for very long.
There's the ongoing move by McLaughlin around the lapped machine. There you see the right front of the 89. That's what Buddy was talking about. Jeff Fuller taking over for Stanton Barrett in that automobile. Fuller's excited. They've got 5 Jack Roush power plants in that team's operation already. They're making plans for the future.
Eli, what that's doing is killing the downforce on Jeff Fuller's car, but it's not out where it would hurt anybody or create a problem for him. So I don't think he'll do anything to him. I got to look at it real good, and while he does, all it's doing is just flapping around some.
Yeah, Robert G. always told me, he fixed some fenders, put them brakes on there. He said, boy, I don't ever want to lose a race because I lost a fender. So.
Yeah, old Robert G. He was a dandy.
He was a classic, buddy.
Folks who never traveled the circuit have heard the name, but never get to know the man. He was one of a kind.
That's right. He'd stand on the side, and he'd tell me, he said, Darrell Lee, don't bring me back nothing but the sternum wheel.
Sternum wheel.
Very few people know this, that he built cars for me and for Dale. He's Dale's father-in-law.
Kevin LePage and the onboard camera there as you look back through the field just a bit. Real quick race, as you see right there, well above the race record since we are caution-free to this point. I mean, they're zipping along. We're at 118 of 200 laps complete already.
I tell you, Hillen and Dale Jr., they match lap speed pretty close.
Michael Waltrip running along in the 11th spot right now in the 21. Darrell, he just can't stay down on the bottom of the racetrack. The car is going up the racetrack, and I think he's losing some time.
Yeah, he's just a little tight, and he just shoves up in the middle of the corner, and you see he can't get back to the throttle because of the car being that way, and that cost him a lot of lap time around the track. Oh, but he's an experienced veteran. He will overcome it somehow, I'm sure. A chassis adjustment or a crew chief change or something.
I tell you what, if you run low on fuel tomorrow, just breathe into the tank. Whoa.
We are live here at Dover Downs. Just tuning in, Eli Gold, Darrell Waltrip, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, and Matt Yoakum. Tomorrow, we're here with the NASCAR Winston Cup teams, the MBNA Platinum 400. Our pre-race coverage at 11:30. Race coverage starts at 12 noon Eastern Time. 13 cars on the lead lap, that's all.
See Jason Keller there in the 57. Right on the speed post of that race car, he has Teresa Linville. She was killed in a car wreck, taking one of Cale Yarborough's crew members to Martinsville on a rain day. And Jason put it on the speed post of his car in remembrance of her.
Definitely so. There you see the spread from first to second as Hillen will go towards turn number 1 and try and deal with a good bit of race traffic.
Boy, I'm glad he didn't do that. That was going to get it to be right exciting there. Yeah. 3 wide going down into turn 1 here ain't never worked.
Putting a lap on Jason Keller, who, by the way, in addition to the story that Buddy just told you, on the back of the 57 car, you may not be able to read it too clearly, but it says, for sponsor information, call, and there's a phone number right there on the car. They're sponsorless, so they're advertising as best they can.
I was in that situation earlier this year, and I had 911 on the side of my car.
Let's check in with Matt Yoakum.
Eli, on Friday, the grandson of Robert G. Dale Earnhardt Jr. went to Randy LaJoie's School of Dover 101. Friday, LaJoie took 4 groups of rookies around Dover, showing them the line, where to enter, where to exit, the best way around Dover. And it appears to be working as Dale Jr. is dominating the race today with his car run his first time here on the concrete at Dover. He hopes for a passing grade today with an A with his first trip to Dover's victory lane.
It wouldn't be bad at all. You saw Jason Keller go a lap down before, and as our graphic indicated, only 12 cars on the lead lap. Now let's see what Mr. Hillen does. He's got the 74 and the 64, trying to put them a lap down as he leads with John Monson looking on. At Lycos.com, bringing you all the aerial shots of the Monster Mile. There's the Winston Cup garage on the left of your screen. If you're just joining us, here is what has happened thus far. It was Kevin LePage who led the race, but on lap number 17, with guys bumping around him, Matt Kenseth, who had taken the lead, went on by. Lap later, little rubbing, Patty Moise, and Dale Jr. says, uh-oh, Daddy's going to kill me.
Yeah, that's the first thing he thought. They're going to be on me again this week.
But Dale Earnhardt Jr. continued on, and right now finds himself just 0.6 of a second behind the race leader, Bobby Hillin. There's Hillin. There is Earnhardt Jr.
Those two cars are very, very equally matched. They're running about the same lap speed when they're out of traffic. And you got two guys, I think, that would go that extra inch or a mile in this case to win a race.
There's 6th place, Presley on the left, Elton Sawyer on the right. Robert trying to avenge that late race problem in Nashville earlier this year on TNN when he had a race wrapped up, got caught up in race traffic.
You know, it's funny. I asked Robert, I was watching it on TV because that's my home track, you know. And I said, Robert, what'd you do that for? He said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever done. I said, no, I didn't.
I don't believe I told that.
Well, then he got to thinking about it. He said, well, you're probably right. I remember a time at Martinsville and a couple other places.
MCI bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring there across the top of the screen. 10, 3, 2, 1. Just dial it and save up to 50%. Elton Sawyer, the Barbasol team, closing right in on Robert Presley.
Elton Sawyer was one of the better cars at Charlotte last week. Yep. And on the last stop, he said, we let the air pressure around in the car a little bit, and they started pushing, and I couldn't keep up with the leaders. But he had closed down on the leader and made a great race out of it. This young man...
Oh, Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth has problems off the corner. You see him taking his safety net down. Caution is on the speedway for Matt Kenseth's problems. And the first caution flag of the day at lap number 137 as the official and unofficial flags are displayed. There you see the NASCAR Winston Cup crews who have come from their garage areas to check on Kenseth, who clearly is okay in getting out of the car. That's between turns 1 and 2. Adjacent to the fence near the NASCAR Winston Cup garage.
Eli, you can see the fire right there on the right front corner of that car is still smoldering. He hit very, very hard with the right front end of that race car.
I'll tell you the most exciting thing. I know that's exciting, but one of the most exciting things was watching Bobby Hillin race Buckshot Jones back to try to keep him going a lap, getting his lap back. That was big.
Buckshot running in 20th, and there you see very quickly, you just saw Matt Kenseth disappear there. Those are the war wagons, if you will, the tool wagons that the Winston Cup teams will be using tomorrow. Here's the end of that incident. Don't know what we can see.
Oh, there's fluid. Yeah, there's fluid coming out of that baby, I believe, with all that fire. That's an oil fire. I'm not so sure that. What do you think, Baker?
I'm looking at the exhaust even had fire coming out.
Yeah.
Some kind of motor problem,
Yeah.
I think, created that slide into the outside wall.
Yeah.
So Matt Kenseth getting the ride to the infield care center, but clearly okay as he was out of that car in a hurry. And now it's time to lay your cards on the table. Lap 139. Here come Hillin and Earnhardt Jr. Again, only the cars on the lead lap can pit this first time by, and there aren't very many of them. There's Mike McLaughlin in third on the bottom of the screen. Hillin, Earnhardt, McLaughlin. Let's watch them all.
I believe that 3-car will be pretty quick out of the pit.
Robert Presley's in, Elton Sawyer, Phil Parsons, and Dale Jarrett. They're all in at lap number 139. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
This caution came at the most opportune time for Dale Earnhardt Jr. A 4-tire stop of the 3-car. He's down and away. His car had gone to the loose side. They added 1 pound of air to the right front to try to make his car a little more neutral. Now let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Okay, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just came by, so he will take the lead from Bobby Hillin. Now, Bobby Hillen's crew is brand new. They haven't worked together for very long. In fact, right before Bobby got here, the catch can man hadn't even got here. Mike McLaughlin goes out third, Tony Stewart fourth. But Bobby Hillen's instructions to them were, before he came in, do not change anything on this car. Remember the big hammer I showed you in New Hampshire? He said he'd take it to them if they changed anything. His car's perfect.
You know, I'm looking at skid marks going into the corner of Matt Kenseth's left black mark where the right front was definitely flat on that car as he went up the hill and hit the outside of the retaining wall. And what that fire was, a lot of times you knock the fuel pump off the right side of the engine.
Yeah, it's possible, buddy. I thought it may have busted a right front tire, but I couldn't tell.
You also saw the Tracy Leslie car stop on the racetrack before. He had gotten around some traffic that he wasn't supposed to, and he was just being put back into his rightful position on the racetrack. NASCAR said you stop right there and then fall back in line behind such and such a car. So he wasn't being penalized per se, but was indeed being put back in his rightful position.
Eli, the skid mark.
139. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the new race leader. He's driven well, but those guys did their job as well. Tony Uri and the crew has little Dale back in front. We are riding with Dick Trickle, who's reaching for, I'm sure, a little
cigarette
break in the action.
Yeah. Get him a cigarette.
Yeah, he does. He's lighting up.
And if they give him a cup of coffee, you wouldn't believe what he could do. A cigarette and a cup of coffee, he can make up a lap.
Well, he's already had his 16 cups before the race.
I'm telling you.
And one cup of coffee he walks around with in the mornings about as big as I am. You ever see that thing?
I know. He can't make it without that. And in the afternoon, it's 90 degrees. He's got a cup of coffee. I tried it, and it makes me hyper.
That's what sent Matt Kenseth into the wall. The word we are getting is he cut down a right front tire. Glenn Jarrett spent some time talking about tires this weekend on the AutoZone Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America.
Ever since the racing surface here at Dover Downs was concreted back in 1995, this place has presented a lot of problems for the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. They've gone through a process of elimination trying to develop the best racing tire they could for this surface. Now they have a tire specifically made for Dover. Dave Offenberg is the chief engineer for Goodyear. Dave, you guys look like you finally got what you want here.
Well, Glenn, we tested here last fall after the Winston Cup event, and we found a new improved compound setup to improve the wear characteristics at this highly abrasive surface. The track will still be, with the greenness of the racetrack, it will be a problem early on, but as the track rubbers in, we expect to see improved wear.
The thing has been tested exclusively. The drivers seem to like what they found so far. Now, the proof is in the pudding.
And there you see how the pit stops took place. Dale Earnhardt coming in second and leaves with the race lead. Those stops because of that car at the top of your screen. Matt Kenseth recording his first DNF of 1998. The only other driver who has not failed to finish a race, Mike McLaughlin, the series point leader. Back under green, just one lap into the event's restarting. Dale Earnhardt Jr. got a great jump on the start, left Bobby Hillen behind him by 0.8 of a second now. And there they go onto the back straightaway.
I always hold my breath after these restarts. If we can run 150 laps and no caution, you get these guys doubled up, sometimes it gets a little antsy.
I think Dale Jr.'s been to the Ron Hornaday restart school. I've never seen anybody that can get off the line as quick when the green flag comes out as Ron Hornaday in the truck division. He drives for Dale Earnhardt also.
Well, now, let me ask you a question, Frank. Do you think that's physical or do you think that's mechanical?
I think it's all mental.
And a man who knows.
Oh, well, I was listening to that Goodyear engineer, and I picked up on some of those engineering terms this season.
You've always been a little flamboyant, you know.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
There's Hillen in the 8th. The 00 is Buckshot Jones, not on the lead lap. He's running in 19. Matt Kenseth has just come from the infield care center. Glenn Jarrett's got the update.
Yeah, you can see he's standing here looking at us, and he got a smile on his face. He's okay. Matt, hard hit. What happened out there?
I'm not sure. Lakewood Chevrolet ran really good all day. That last set of tires was extremely tight. I'm not sure if it was just so tight we killed the right front or if we ran something over, but it didn't give any warning. It just went flat going into the mud. So hopefully we can learn what happened to it and killed my favorite race car. I'm all right, though.
All right, your first DNF of the year is going to hurt you in the point.
Yeah, well, but it's pretty early to be counting points. I really wanted to win the race, and we lost my favorite race car. Those are the two worst things, but I'm all right, and we'll be back at Richmond next week and try to win there.
Okay, better luck to you. That is the car that he won at Rockingham with. And also, guys, I asked him about those guys having trouble making those pit stops under green. He said that he thought it was that sealant that they put down on the racetrack. They just were coming in so fast, tires couldn't get a grip at that speed.
You saw Mark Martin there into that picture, too. He came over to check on Matt Kenseth, make sure he's doing okay. We are at lap 151, just 49 to go. Lead lap cars are down to only 8. There are 2 of them right there. McLaughlin in the 34. Tony Stewart the 44. That's 3rd and 4th place on your screen. Ahead of them, the lap machine of Buckshot Jones. Very quietly, McLaughlin just hanging around the front, man.
Eli came in with a 1-point advantage over Matt Kenseth. Now with Kenseth's bad luck, he is sure to gain some points. They've been chasing their chassis all day today. On the first pit stop, his car was too tight, so they loosened it up. They went to the opposite end of the spectrum. Now it was too loose. On the last stop, they went back halfway, hoping they can find a happy medium. Right now, though, he says he's got his hands full with the 44 car of Tony Stewart.
Good battle.
You can see right there, Tony Stewart able to run the lower line through the corner. McLaughlin gets a better run off the corner on the high part of the racetrack. But that car is now sticking very well right in the middle part of the corner.
No, but I tell you, Tony Stewart is another guy that's just quietly hung around the front there, and now there's only 50 laps to go or less. Looks like he's turned it up a bit, too.
Guys, have you also noticed that in the top 10, there is only one NASCAR Winston Cup regular, as you see Tony Stewart again trying Mike McLaughlin as the Lycos helicopter gives us the aerial view. Only Dale Jarrett is a Winston Cup regular running in 7th. Everybody else in the top 10 are Busch Series regulars.
And how many guys that have won races here, Eli? Again, I lose you because you had that statistic.
A total of 21 winners in 28 races.
We know Dale Jr. had one here.
Hillen's not one here.
Not one here.
McLaughlin does have a win here.
He does.
But Stewart does not. Robert Presley does not have one. He has 2 wins here. So you'd have to drop back to Elton Sawyer.
So we might, we need to say something about Elton because, again, this week, I think they changed the engine programs. We talked about that last week, didn't we, buddy? And they have really run a lot better since they did that. And he's up in the top 10 again this week.
Oh, boy, Tony Stewart gets very sideways there, coming out of turn 2. Got the car back under control, but lost quite a bit of distance there on McLaughlin, trying to get in and take that spot away.
Got on the flat of the track, it looked like.
Oh, man, that'll make your heart stop for a little while.
Poor old Tony Stewart leading the Indy 500 last week, lap 21. The engine went bye-bye.
Oh, that was...
And he was still, when we saw him here on Thursday night and again yesterday morning, he was still downright depressed. Then he goes out and runs a lap in practice yesterday, loses an engine here yesterday.
Yeah,
it's been a tough stretch.
That thing about Indy is, they have that once a year. Yeah. So you work on that one race almost all year long, and you've got one shot. And I think Tony had a good car, and he knew he could win.
About 4 miles an hour behind Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pace. Watch again what happened moments ago from up high.
Well, you see right there, he's against the back of the car comes out. He tries to wiggle back under control. Did a great job. Normally on radial tires, when the back end breaks loose like that, goodbye, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Well, we know that he has exceptionally good car control. He's a great little driver, and he's going to be heard from. Not like that, I might add. But
I think one thing we have to say about Tony Stewart, he's just beginning, just like Dale Jr., as far as his experience in heavy cars and this type of racing. And they're going to get better. That's the scary part with other people running against him.
I think what will really help that young man is when he focuses in on Winston Cup racing or on Busch racing.
Look at this
guy. Stop doing everything else.
6th place right there, changing hands. Jarrett getting the move on Elton Sawyer. Dale's now climbing towards the front here with 40 laps to go. I wonder if he could be a factor as this thing winds down.
Last week he made a good strong run near the end of the race to the front, and looks like he's doing that again today.
Riding with Phil Parsons. He's in 8th.
Yeah, and Phil's quietly just moved himself along here, and he stayed in the top 10 all day, and he's having another solid run.
Again, 3rd here a couple of years ago.
See, Elton Sawyer there in the car just in front, running a little bit high on the racetrack. You can see Phil Parsons making a move as they start off turn 4 there, side by side. Going down into turn 1, Phil will probably pull ahead just a little bit there.
You carry so much speed out of these corners that when there's somebody in that outside line there in the groove that you really need to let your car run off into, you really have taken a chance that you're not going to get into that guy.
Looking back towards Elton Sawyer and Jason Keller and others, but up front, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 37 laps from the finish with a 1.5-second lead on Bobby Hillin.
There's Busch.
As you see, just 32 laps remaining. 1 6/10 seconds is the advantage for Earnhardt Jr. over Hillin, and that's why we're not showing you that up front. It's staying pretty much stable. They're really running identical laps.
Yeah, the difference is the restart there. Dale Jr. got a good start and got away from Hillin, and they've been about the same distance apart ever since.
That last lap, the first 3 cars ran exactly the same speeds around the racetrack. So these guys, if they ever get bunched up here, we're going to really see a great shootout here.
And they will get bunched up because as they come up on traffic, that's going to slow the leader down. It's going to allow those other guys to catch up.
There you see 11th place on the screen right there. 64, Dick Trickle. Randy LaJoy behind him in the 74.
Yeah, there went Uncle Mike. Oh, watch this. The telemetry is cool. Only slow down to about 130 miles an hour in the corner. You're dragging it all the way down the straightaway here, which isn't all that long, to about 160 miles an hour. And you can see these engines don't turn the 8800 or 8900 we see in a Cup engine. You only turn these things about 7500, 8000 max. But they run about the same speed, actually.
Straightaway's only a quarter of a mile here, 1,076 feet long.
Well, that's the straight part.
Yeah.
But with the way these things are, you pick the throttle up in the middle of the corner, so you're running middle to middle, about half the racetrack under power.
This is a battle for the lead. You see, or not for the lead, but for
position.
For position, you can see right there that Randy LaJoy is trying to get by Triple.
That was 11th spot on the line right there. And there you see Mike McLaughlin in the 4th place right now, behind Earnhardt Jr., Hillin, and Tony Stewart.
With Robert Presley closing down on him pretty fast here. Presley's, he's running 5th right now. Hadn't said a lot about Robert. He's having a pretty good run today.
Matt Hutter, who wrecked in turns 1 and 2 here yesterday morning in his backup car. And there you go, that battle again, side by side. LaJoy wants 11th. Got it. And that's Dick Trickle's view as the 2-time NASCAR Busch Series champion pulls on past.
I think LaJoy is working real hard to get a top 10 finish is what he's doing. I think that he's a lap down, so he knows he can't win, but he's certainly got a chance to have a top 10 here.
You guys at home are getting to see something that race car drivers never get to see. We have a tachometer, but no speedometer. Yeah. So we have no idea. We just know if it's turning a certain RPM, it's getting the job done.
Yeah, and I don't like to see how fast we're going into those corners either. That's fast, 160 mile an hour on a 1 mile track. Back when you drove back when we probably was doing 125 maybe.
Do you know, in all seriousness, when Buddy won the pole here 21 years ago, they were going 20 miles an hour slower than they went here yesterday running for the pole.
Explain why.
No, we don't have to explain why. Everybody knows why.
Well, let me tell you, they asked me if I could run Talladega with these guys today, and I said, I don't know. I never run that slow.
Mr. 200 mile an hour, Buddy Baker right there. Here's Robert Presley, 4th position now. Remember, as Darrell was telling you, 4th and 5th right there. Presley closed right in on McLaughlin.
Everybody's turned it up a notch here. It's the end of the race. Everybody's trying to get all they can and passing everybody on that they can.
Very, very quick race today. One brief 7-lap caution, and that's been it.
Yeah, and Dale Jr. lengthened his lead considerably.
Well, he's getting through traffic so very, very well. You can see Patty Moise in the 14 there. He got her just going in the corner. She gave him plenty of room. Right now, the flagman's working with the lead car out there, and the guys back in the pack are having their own spots when they go by.
He won at Texas, trying for his first career win at the Monster Mile. Dale Earnhardt Jr. working traffic. We're back in a moment. Continues to lead there in the number 3. You get the overhead view from the Lycos helicopter, and you'll be getting those pictures again tomorrow on race day, right after our coverage of the MBNA Platinum 400. You won't miss a thing. All the highlights of the entire weekend. A special time tomorrow following our racing coverage here at the Monster Mile. 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, race day tomorrow, right here on TNN Motorsports.
Boy, we're running down with 15 to go here. We're getting some real battles around the racetrack. You got Michael and LaJoy back here battling for getting the top 10. You got Jarrett Presley and Mike McLaughlin battling to get in the top 5. So we got some real battles going on here.
There you see the spread around the racetrack right now. There's Hermie Sadler. Really nothing particularly tight as you finally get back to Bobby Hillin. That's 3 1/10 seconds from Earnhardt past those slapped cars and on back to Bobby Hillin, and then other machines that are also themselves no longer on the lead lap.
Bobby Hillin using a ton of racetrack. Yes, Patty Maurice in the 14 there. She's had some good steady runs in the past 2 weeks. Finished 17th in Charlotte last week. Great job by Patty Maurice.
There's Mike Cope, the graduate from the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. He's running in 33rd here today. Beneath that crossover bridge, you see Tony Stewart. He is in 3rd. Now Stewart is running 6.5 seconds behind the leader, Earnhardt Jr. There's Ed Berrier. Ran early and well, but he's now dropped back to 3 laps back in 24th position. The 80, Mark Krogh. He's in 26th. We've given a look here late in the day as to where your favorites are. 00, Buckshot Jones. He's in 19th. There's Mike McLaughlin. He's in 4th place. And McLaughlin is at this moment running 9.5 seconds behind the leader, but that's for position.
Yeah, he's under attack by the 32 car. Dale Jarrett has been right on his back bumper on occasion, depending on the traffic. And Jarrett got by Robert Presley, so he's up to 5th and trying to get by McLaughlin for 4th.
You can look at Dale Jarrett right there. I mean, that car is pinned to the bottom of the racetrack. I think McLaughlin chews the tires up right now. And Dale Jarrett does what he does every week. He gets stronger and stronger as the race goes.
By the way, if you're not familiar, this year the NASCAR Busch Series has gone to the same point system that the Winston Cup teams have gone to, with 5-point bonuses for leading laps. Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has now just clinched the 5 additional bonus points for leading the most laps today. Nobody's going to lead more laps than will the AC Delco number 3 car. That's another shot of the arm as we do indeed look at the point standings over the course of the year.
And the good news for Dale Jr. is there's no traffic in front of him. He's just got a couple of lap cars to deal with, and we're down to 8 laps to go.
That's the best battle on the track. McLaughlin, the 34 car, works inside the 80 of Mark Krogh. They rub, maybe just a bit. Dale Jarrett in the white rain Ford right there behind him.
Eli, that's nerve-wracking when you're racing somebody for position like that, and you run up on lap traffic, and you hope they know you're there. You hope they're looking in the mirror, and you have to go now. You can't just hold on to what you have. You have to try to advance. So lap traffic is really, really hair-raising at times.
Yeah, and you got to look again at the big picture. Mike McLaughlin's trying to win the championship. He's going to take a big point lead today because Kenseth's out, and you got a Winston Cup guy hounding you like that. You got to make a call somewhere along the way. Am I holding him up, and is he going to get into me, or should I let him go? What should I do?
I'm going to tell you, I don't think points they have in now. 6 laps to go. You can see these guys are going at it right now. Dale Jarrett is doing everything he can to get to the inside of McLaughlin. But Mike McLaughlin is doing a great job of holding him off.
5 laps to go for the leader. 6 still for those guys because they're some 10.5 seconds back. Can he get them?
He's got the preferred line now. Going down into turn 3. He'll hold fire to it, but McLaughlin's been pretty good on the outside. He's got him.
Yeah, I thought that lap car might get in the way, but it looks like it's going to be okay.
That's Lance Hooper, the 23 car right there that DW's referring to, but he stays out of everybody's way.
Yep.
And indeed, the word clear. Go get back in line. You're clear of traffic.
McLaughlin's fought a good fight today, though, because he got Tony Stewart that worried him to death till he finally got around him, and he didn't just roll over and let Jarrett go by. He held his own.
You know, that guy's daddy, Dale Earnhardt, never has won here at Dover Downs. His son will have something on the veteran daddy. Third place is where Dale Earnhardt's best finish ever was in June of 1989.
And if Dale Jr. does win this race, it's not over until the checkered flag comes out, folks. I tell you that. We all know that about racing. But the 2 times that Dale Jr. has won, Dale Earnhardt's been on hand to see him do it.
Yep, good point. Texas Motor Speedway. Now potentially here at Dover, the 5th race of the year that Dale Earnhardt Jr. has led of the 13 on the schedule.
Well, of course, we know Dale Jr. have got a great team there in the Busch car, in the Busch series. But I'm proud of Bobby Hillin today. That young man is held in there. He's going to finish second if things continue like they are. And he's had a good day.
And give a call to Tony Stewart. He's fought his way all the way up to 3rd place and has run so very well today.
Well, he's in a hurry. He's got to catch a plane, I'm sure, and get back down to Indiana somewhere and run a sprint car tonight.
Probably so. There's Bobby Hillin in the 8th car. He is 3 9/10 seconds behind Earnhardt Jr., who now comes to the stripe right there, takes the white flag as he tries to deal with Tim Fedewa going into turn 1.
Well, I tell you what, he's shooting nobody any credits there. You can see he goes by Tim Fedewa. Tim Fedewa's trying to hold him off and stay at least that 1 lap better, but Earnhardt had nothing to do with it.
35 Busch races, 2 victories. Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets the checkers here at Dover Downs in his very first trip here, and that is a major factor, too. A tough racetrack, and he wins it in his first visit.
Yeah, he did, and he dodged a big bullet when he spun down here coming into pits, and he got it back out there and made up the time and won the race. Congratulations, Dale Jr. and Senior.
You know, you have to say Junior has the advantage. He sat on the pole at Bristol. He's done it all on these concrete tracks. He likes them. He does not have anything to say I don't like about any of the concrete tracks.
He came into pits awful slow then.
Meanwhile,
the race is over with.
The race is over with. Dale Earnhardt's going to have to be directed to victory lane. He's never been here before. Get some congratulations. And Darrell Waltrip, we're going to let you get across the track and get set for happy hour for the NASCAR Winston Cup cars, the Pennzoil machine in the field for tomorrow. So get across, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, great job, everybody. Good job, buddy. Good job, Eli and fans. See you out there on the track. So
good luck
tomorrow. All right, DW, take care. Darrell Waltrip, we thank him for joining us. He's heading into the garage for practice. Meanwhile, Matt Yoakum is down, I'm sure, with Tony Eury is with him. Matt?
Tony Eury, Senior, congratulations. You're almost out of breath. Your 2nd win this season.
Yeah, that kid's great. We had a great car today. We had a great car for the last 3 weeks now. We just got in trouble the last 2 races. We just had to put a halter on him today. The kid's doing a great job. We just got to keep him calm. He just wants to win so bad, and he gets himself in trouble. But this is a good old car. She's an old one. She's built in like 1991 or something. Neil Bonnet drove it in Atlanta after a snowstorm. So she's an old one, but she's a good one.
A great day by the guys over the wall, too. 2 18-second stops.
Oh, yeah. They've been practicing hard on the stops. Since we got the Cup team in there, we got us stuff so we can practice pit stops. And everybody's working hard on them, and they kind of competing against each other, which helps, too.
Well, congratulations. Their 2nd win of 1998.
And you saw a very proud daddy making his way to victory lane. Dale Earnhardt will be there in a moment. There's Dale Jr., his 2nd career win, Glenn Jarrett. What a day, huh?
And here he comes, folks. Dale Earnhardt Jr. We've been talking about him. And a Coca-Cola bath for everybody involved. Hey. Young man, first thing I want to do, get a congratulations from Pop here. Let's catch this. Oh, now, this is great. What a day. First thing I want to say, young man, is congratulations. That was an awesome performance.
Yeah, well, I got to thank AC Delco and Tony Eury for making the right calls today on pit lane. And this AC Delco crew, they done it all on pit road, had some fantastic stops. I spun it out trying to get on pit road, downshifting, but I knew we could get it back. I told them I would, and we had a fast car.
Well, you did. You had a fast car yesterday afternoon in practice. You started back in the field around 16th, but was there ever any doubt in your mind, Dale, that you could get to the front? And the AC Delco hat serves you well there.
Yeah, well, I knew we had a fast car in the last practice yesterday. I knew it just had to be calm, just like Texas, man. We didn't get no hurry coming to the front, and I knew we'd get there sooner or later because we had a car.
Dad whispered something in your ear there. Can you share that?
He just wants me to remember my sponsors, AC Delco, Coca-Cola, Food City, Chevrolet, Monte Carlo, everything else on board. We appreciate every one of them.
Congratulations, man. Let you go celebrate. Well done.
And as we said before, Dale Earnhardt, though he has won here 3 times in Winston Cup racing, never did win a NASCAR Busch Series race here at the Monster Mile. His son has done so in track record speed, 130.152 miles an hour. Seats, but we want to think that you have the very best seat of all, because tomorrow we'll be here with all the live coverage of the MBNA Platinum 400. Race coverage starting at 12 noon Eastern Time. Our pre-race show begins at 11:30 in the morning Eastern Time. We certainly hope you can be here, and we'll be bringing it all to you. It's a great look at the Dover, Delaware area, upper right-hand corner of the Dover Mall. Out behind the back straightaway there towards that water tower, you saw Delaware State University, which is part of the Dover, Delaware landscape. And the folks not going anywhere. They're sticking around for NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour. Final tune-up for tomorrow's MBNA Platinum 400. See Al Robinson on the right of the screen handling public address here as the teams head towards their garage area. Check it out. Good performances up and down. Elton Sawyer, great run for him. And Jason Keller in need of a sponsor. A good top 10, buddy.
Yeah, and you see Randy LaJoy there. He soldiered along. Didn't like the car. It was pushing all day long. Finishes 11th.
Kevin Grubb there in 20th place. Didn't talk much about him today. Hermie Sadler, 25th. Unusual for him. Normally runs very, very well here at the mile. And Joe Bessie, who won here last September in 28th.
Down in 40th. That guy had such a good race car today. Has a tire problem going into turn 1. Catches on fire. A lot of emotion there just for a moment. It looked a lot more serious than it was.
Again, the driver just fine. But how about Bobby Hillen? Great story today. The best performance he'd had this year in the Busch Series was 9th at Charlotte. Well, he comes home with a second-place run today. Let's hear from the veteran from Midland, Texas.
Eli, one of Bobby Hillen's partners. Mark McGuire hit his 26th home run last night. You almost hit one today. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. My hat's off to Dale Jr. and his team. They did a great job, and I really want to thank the Lord, not for a safe day, but for giving me strength to persevere during tough times, and this makes it worthwhile. He gives me strength, and I want to thank Chevrolet Monte Carlo. The car ran great today. My team did a great job. Thank Larry's and Nabisco, Hart. We still need a major sponsor, though. That's the key thing. Thank all the baseball players. These guys have supported me through thick and thin. They're super great guys. They love the competitiveness fire of NASCAR. And we're going to just keep fighting to get them a win here pretty quick. And I want to say hi to Jerry Newman with BCJ. He's been a real big help, too.
Just how good was that car? It looked like it was on rails most of the day.
Well, it was really good, but I did a bad job communicating to the crew towards the end of the race. I should have told them that we need to go a lot looser. It started tightening up, and I told them it was tight, but I wasn't emphatic enough about it, and that's where communication and more races come into play, but I wasn't getting much air in the car, so I'm pretty hot. The guys just did a super job. We got a great bunch of guys.
Well, they sure do, and they proved it today. A great second place for Bobby Hillen.
Bobby turns 34 on Friday of next week, and you know how significant this day was. The last time Bobby Hillen finished in the top 5 in a NASCAR Busch Series race was at Darlington. Not this year, not last year, but back in 1990, his last top 5 finish in the Busch Series. Robert Presley with a top 6 today. There's the Kingsford Charcoal Man, Glenn.
Hey, he changed cars, too. He switched. I don't know. I think you got a bad trade here, man. In a golf cart, just getting ready to go to the Winston Cup garage area. And pretty doggone good run today.
It was. I tell you, I was really proud of this Kingsford Charcoal, number 59. You know, it ran good there, but that last set of tires, we just got so doggone tight there about 25 laps to go. All we could do is just ride around. Dale got us there at the end, so... You know, it's good for everybody. 360, match light, everybody get ready to go to Richmond and see if we can't win one of these Busch races pretty soon.
Your car has been awfully strong in the Busch Series this year, but also in the Winston Cup Series, you guys are starting to make some noise. What about your prospects for tomorrow, Robert?
I tell you, we learned a lot today. It really paid off running this race today, but it's going to be a long 400 laps tomorrow. I tell you, these tires just ain't as good as they was last year, but, you know, we all got a race on them, and it's going to be a job.
Okay, we're going to let Robert take off. He's ready to go down and get in his Winston Cup car for happy hour. We'll find somebody else. Be back in a moment.
A two-time winner here at Dover Downs, Robert Presley, in NASCAR Busch Series competition. As I mentioned earlier in passing, the average speed today, 130.152 miles an hour. That breaks the old record by 4 miles an hour. Harry Gant set that back in September of 1991. So that record has stood on the books for about 7 years, but today, with only one brief caution, it goes to 130.152. Today, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing at Watkins Glen International. Joe Ruttman in the Exide truck takes the win. Jay Sauter second. Good super effort for Boris Said, as you would expect on the road course. He's a fine road racer. Jack Sprague, the series point leader, and Mark Simo with a good solid 5th place finish. That today in the Parts America 150 at Watkins Glen International. And the reason we talk so much about it is because next week, Buddy Baker, we will be at Texas Motor Speedway, the redesigned Texas Motor Speedway, Friday night at 9 Eastern Time. The Pronto Auto Parts 400K, tight 1.5-mile racetrack, but literally Wednesday of this week, 2-3 days ago, they finished the redesigning, they repaved it, got a pace car out on the truck, or on the track, I should say, on Thursday. It's going to be very, very interesting next Friday night.
Eli, they changed the transition of the racetrack going into the corners and getting off the corners. And I want to tell everyone, if you hadn't watched the race trucks run on super speedways, you need to turn in next Friday night, because I got to tell you something. 175 miles an hour these trucks run around that racetrack. Super exciting, great racing.
You saw that sign that said, 30 years, thanks, while NASCAR celebrates its 50th anniversary. The Monster Mile has grown up in its 30 years of existence, and Dale Earnhardt is growing up in a hurry as well. A two-time winner now on the NASCAR Busch Series. If you don't have shivers getting set to start a race here at Dover Downs International Speedway,